Welcome, seekers of wisdom. Zeno of Citium once said, "Man conquers the world by conquering himself." But what does this mean for you and me in our pursuit of true intelligence? We will unravel the genuine signs of intelligence you cannot fake, presenting real stories from ancient times but also from modern times. Let us begin. Number 1. Critical thinking.
In the heart of ancient Rome, where shadows of superstition and fear loomed large, there lived a healer whose wisdom would be tested like never before. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Little did Valeria know, her thoughts and critical thinking would soon be the village's beacon of hope. The story begins on a seemingly ordinary day, when a mysterious illness begins to spread through Valeria's village. Children and adults alike are struck down with fever, vomiting, and debilitating weakness. The local physician, bound by traditional methods and superstitions, is at a loss. Fear and desperation grow, leading to a sense of impending doom. Valeria, known for her extensive knowledge of herbs and natural remedies, is called upon to help. Unlike the physician, she approaches the problem with a calm and analytical mind. She spends days observing the symptoms, collecting data, and speaking with the affected families. Her curiosity and open-mindedness drive her to seek a logical explanation for the outbreak. One evening, while reviewing her notes by the flickering light of an oil lamp, Valeria notices a pattern. The majority of the sick seem to live near the village well. This observation sparks a hypothesis. The illness might be waterborne, linked to the well's water. Despite her suspicions, the idea is met with skepticism and resistance from the villagers and the physician, who dismiss it as mere coincidence. Determined to prove her theory, Valeria conducts a series of experiments. She collects water samples from various sources and compares them, noting the stark differences. She then purifies the water using boiling and herbal filtration methods, administering the treated water to a few brave volunteers. To her relief and excitement, those who drank the purified water began to show signs of recovery. However, just as hope begins to spread, an unexpected turn of events shatters the village's fragile optimism. Valeria herself falls ill. The villagers, now terrified, believe that even their healer has been cursed, and they start to lose faith in her methods. Valeria, though weakened, remains resolute. She instructs her apprentice, a young girl named Lucia, to continue the work. Lucia, inspired by Valeria's unwavering determination and critical thinking, steps up. She doubles her efforts, meticulously following Valeria's instructions. Under Lucia's guidance, the villagers slowly start to adopt the purification methods, and gradually, the number of new cases begins to decline. The village elders, seeing the positive changes, finally acknowledge the validity of Valeria's approach. In a dramatic turnaround, Valeria, after days of intense struggle, starts to recover. Her resurgence brings a renewed sense of hope and vindication. The village is saved, not by superstition or fear, but by the critical thinking and wisdom of one brave healer and her dedicated apprentice. Valeria's story is a testament to the power of critical thinking. It was her ability to analyze, question, and seek evidence that turned the tide against the deadly illness. In moments of crisis, it is not blind faith or fear that leads us to safety, but the clarity of thought and the courage to act on reason. Dear watchers, Valeria's wisdom teaches us a vital lesson. Critical thinking is an essential sign of genuine intelligence. It allows us to navigate the complexities of life with reason and integrity. In a world filled with challenges and uncertainties, let us remember to embrace our inner Valeria, to question, to seek truth, and to act with wisdom. This is the path to true intelligence and a life of fulfillment.
Sign number 2. Adaptability. In the heart of Chicago, where ambition meets opportunity, a single spark can change everything. Seneca once said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." Little did Thomas know, his resilience and adaptability would soon be tested in the most unimaginable way. The story begins on a seemingly ordinary evening in October 1871. Thomas had moved to Chicago to pursue his dreams of becoming a renowned architect. He believed in using new, fire-resistant materials, inspired by his mentor's teachings and the latest innovations in construction. As he meticulously worked on his designs, an inferno was igniting on the other side of the city. The Great Chicago Fire quickly spread, consuming everything in its path. Chaos erupted as people fled their homes, clutching whatever belongings they could carry. The sky turned crimson, and the heat became unbearable. Thomas, like many others, was forced to abandon his home and seek refuge. He watched in horror as the flames devoured his neighborhood, realizing that everything he had worked for was turning to ash. In the days following the disaster, Chicago lay in ruins. The once vibrant city was now a smoldering wasteland. Thousands were left homeless and destitute. Thomas, though devastated, refused to succumb to despair. He knew that the city needed to rebuild, and he saw an opportunity to apply his knowledge and skills. Amid the rubble, Thomas began to gather like-minded individuals. He shared his vision of a fireproof city, one built with brick and steel instead of wood. His ideas were initially met with skepticism. Many believed it was too costly or impractical, but Thomas's determination and adaptability shone through. He understood that to rebuild a safer Chicago, they needed to think differently and embrace change. Unexpectedly, as Thomas started to make progress, another crisis emerged. The construction workers, who were already struggling with the loss of their homes, fell ill due to the harsh conditions and poor sanitation in the temporary shelters. This new challenge threatened to derail the entire rebuilding effort. Thomas, once again demonstrating his adaptability, shifted his focus. He collaborated with local doctors and organized efforts to improve living conditions for the workers. They set up makeshift clinics and sanitation facilities, ensuring that the health and well-being of the workers were prioritized. This unexpected turnaround not only saved lives but also reinforced the community's trust in Thomas's leadership. With the workers' health stabilized, the rebuilding efforts resumed with renewed vigor. Thomas's innovative designs began to take shape. Brick by brick, the new Chicago started to rise from the ashes. His fire-resistant buildings stood as symbols of resilience and hope. Years later, as the city flourished with its new, safer architecture, Thomas's contributions were recognized far and wide. He had not only rebuilt structures, but had also restored faith in the city's future. His adaptability and unwavering commitment to his vision had transformed a tragedy into a triumph. Thomas's story is a powerful reminder of the strength found in adaptability. When faced with unprecedented challenges, it was his ability to think critically and adapt to changing circumstances that led to success. He didn't just rebuild a city, he redefined what it means to be resilient. Dear watchers, in our lives we too face moments of unexpected crisis and change. It is in these moments that our true intelligence is tested. Like Thomas, we must embrace adaptability and critical thinking, finding innovative solutions and forging ahead with resilience and determination. This is the path to genuine strength and lasting success.
Sign number 3, curiosity and open-mindedness. In the pursuit of wisdom, we must remain ever curious and open-minded, said Marcus Aurelius. These words of the great Stoic philosopher serve as a profound reminder of the importance of curiosity and open-mindedness in our journey towards genuine intelligence. Imagine standing at the threshold of a vast, unexplored library, its shelves brimming with books containing the knowledge of the ages. Each book holds a unique perspective, a different story, a new idea waiting to be discovered. Curiosity is the key that unlocks this treasure trove. It drives us to venture beyond the familiar, to ask questions, and to seek answers that broaden our understanding of the world. Curiosity is the engine of growth. It propels us forward, encouraging us to explore new territories and embrace new experiences. It's the spark that ignites innovation and the foundation upon which all progress is built. When we approach life with a curious mind, we remain open to learning from every encounter, every person, and every situation. We understand that there is always something new to discover, something valuable to learn. Open-mindedness, on the other hand, is the fertile soil in which the seeds of curiosity grow. It is the willingness to entertain different viewpoints, to consider new ideas without prejudice. An open mind is not swayed by dogma or limited by the fear of the unknown. Instead, it welcomes diversity of thought and embraces the richness that comes from understanding multiple perspectives. Consider the story of an ancient scholar who, despite being an expert in his field, constantly sought the wisdom of others. He would travel great distances to engage with philosophers, scientists, and thinkers from various cultures. Each conversation, each new piece of knowledge, added to his own understanding. He knew that his own knowledge was but a drop in the vast ocean of human wisdom. This scholar's journey teaches us that intelligence is not a static state, but a dynamic process of continuous learning. It is the capacity to remain a student of life, ever curious and open to the endless possibilities that each day brings. True intelligence recognizes that every person we meet, every book we read, every experience we have, has the potential to teach us something new. Being curious and open-minded also means being comfortable with uncertainty and ambiguity. It is about finding joy in the quest for knowledge rather than in the possession of it. It's understanding that questions often lead to more questions, and that's where the beauty of learning lies. It's in this endless pursuit of understanding that we grow, evolve, and become truly intelligent. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often reflected on the importance of keeping an open mind. He urged us to be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. This means being open to the ideas and behaviors of others while holding ourselves to a high standard of critical thinking and self-improvement. By doing so, we cultivate a mindset that is both curious and discerning, one that seeks truth and values wisdom. So let us embrace the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and foster a spirit of curiosity and open-mindedness in our lives. Let us approach each day with the wonder of a child, eager to learn, explore, and grow. Let us be open to the diverse tapestry of human experience, recognizing that every interaction, every challenge, and every moment is an opportunity to expand our understanding and deepen our intelligence. In doing so, we not only enrich our own lives, but also contribute to a more enlightened and harmonious world.
Sign number 4, emotional regulation. Zeno of Citium once said, "Man conquers the world by conquering himself." Tonight, Marcus would embody this truth in a way no one could have anticipated. The Colosseum was a crucible where only the strongest survived, and Marcus, a gladiator of many years, knew this better than anyone. Trained in the art of combat, he was not the biggest or the fiercest, but he possessed something far more valuable: emotional regulation. This ability to remain calm under pressure had not only kept him alive, but had also earned him the respect of his peers and the favor of the crowd. On this fateful night, Marcus was pitted against a new adversary, Brutus, a towering warrior known for his brutal strength and merciless tactics. As the two gladiators stepped into the arena, the air was thick with anticipation. The crowd's cheers echoed off the stone walls, creating a cacophony of excitement and dread. Brutus, sensing an easy victory, tried to intimidate Marcus with a display of raw power, swinging his sword with ferocious intensity. But Marcus, grounded in his Stoic principles, remained unfazed. He moved with calculated precision, his calm demeanor a stark contrast to Brutus's wild aggression. The fight progressed, and it became clear that Marcus's emotional regulation was his greatest weapon. While Brutus's anger made him reckless, Marcus's serenity allowed him to anticipate and counter each move with effortless grace. Just as victory seemed within reach for Marcus, an unexpected turn of events occurred. Brutus, in a desperate attempt to overpower Marcus, hurled his weapon aside and charged with his bare hands, intending to crush him with sheer force. Caught off guard, Marcus was thrown to the ground. The crowd gasped, sensing the impending doom of their favored gladiator. Brutus, towering over him, prepared to deliver the final blow. In that moment, time seemed to stand still. Marcus, despite the imminent danger, closed his eyes and took a deep breath. He remembered the words of his mentor, a retired gladiator turned philosopher. In the face of fear, find your center and let your mind guide your actions. With a surge of clarity, Marcus rolled to the side, evading Brutus's crushing blow. Using his opponent's momentum against him, Marcus swiftly regained his footing and disarmed Brutus with a series of precise, controlled movements. The tables had turned, and now it was Brutus who lay defenseless on the ground. But instead of delivering the final blow, Marcus did something unexpected. He extended his hand, helping Brutus to his feet. The crowd fell silent, confused by this act of mercy. Marcus turned to the emperor's box and raised his hand, signaling for clemency. The emperor, moved by the display of honor and control, granted Brutus his life. Marcus's story teaches us that true strength lies not in our ability to overpower others, but in our ability to control ourselves. Emotional regulation is a genuine sign of intelligence, one that enables us to navigate the fiercest battles of life with grace and wisdom. In moments of crisis, remember to find your center. Let your mind guide your actions, and you too will emerge victorious. Sign number 5, self-awareness. Know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly, said Epictetus, encapsulating the essence of self-awareness. This profound wisdom from the Stoic philosopher serves as a guiding light on our journey towards genuine intelligence. Imagine standing at the crossroads of life, surrounded by noise and distractions. The world constantly tries to shape you, pulling you in multiple directions. Yet, amidst this chaos, self-awareness acts as your compass, pointing you towards your true self. It is the foundation upon which all other virtues are built, the core of genuine intelligence. Self-awareness is the deep understanding of your own character, desires, strengths, and weaknesses. It is not just knowing what you are good at, but also recognizing your limitations. This awareness allows you to make decisions that align with your true nature, leading to a more fulfilling and authentic life. Consider the story of an ancient Roman general named Titus. Celebrated for his military prowess, he was known to lead his men with unparalleled strategy and courage. However, Titus also understood the importance of self-awareness. Before each battle, he would spend hours in solitude, reflecting on his fears and motivations. He knew that true strength came from understanding himself first. This practice allowed him to lead with clarity and confidence, earning the unwavering loyalty of his soldiers. Titus's self-awareness enabled him to remain composed under pressure, make strategic decisions, and inspire those around him. He knew his strengths and leveraged them effectively, while also being aware of his weaknesses and seeking counsel when needed. His ability to look inward made him not just a great leader, but a wise one. Self-awareness also brings with it the power of emotional intelligence. When you understand your own emotions and triggers, you can manage them more effectively. This regulation of emotions prevents impulsive decisions and fosters resilience. Imagine a scenario where a heated argument arises. A person lacking self-awareness might react defensively, escalating the conflict. In contrast, a self-aware individual would recognize their emotional response, pause, and choose a more constructive way to engage. This ability to manage emotions not only diffuses tension, but also builds stronger, more meaningful relationships. Moreover, self-awareness fosters humility. It reminds you that there is always room for growth and improvement. When you are aware of your limitations, you become open to feedback and willing to learn from others. This humility is a hallmark of true intelligence, as it acknowledges that wisdom is an ongoing pursuit. Think of the great philosopher Socrates, who famously declared, "I know that I know nothing." His profound self-awareness allowed him to question, explore, and ultimately gain deeper insights. This humble acknowledgement of his own ignorance was not a sign of weakness, but of immense strength and intelligence. It is a reminder that true wisdom comes from a place of self-understanding and continuous learning. Self-awareness also aligns your actions with your values. When you are clear about what you stand for, you make choices that resonate with your core beliefs. This integrity brings inner peace and ensures that your life path is authentically yours. It prevents you from being swayed by external pressures and keeps you grounded in your own truth. In the words of Epictetus, know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly. This timeless advice is a call to cultivate self-awareness, to look inward and understand the depths of your own being. It is a journey that requires courage, honesty, and reflection, but the rewards are immense. Through self-awareness, you unlock the door to genuine intelligence, leading a life that is not only wise, but profoundly fulfilling. Embrace this journey of self-discovery. Reflect on your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Understand your strengths and acknowledge your weaknesses. Let self-awareness be your guide, illuminating the path to true wisdom and intelligence. In doing so, you will not only enrich your own life, but also inspire and uplift those around you.
Sign number 6, empathy and compassion. Lead your heart and mind to what is best, said Cleanthes, the Stoic philosopher who succeeded Zeno of Citium as the head of the Stoic school. This wisdom invites us to consider empathy and compassion as fundamental elements of true intelligence. In our journey through life, these virtues not only define our character, but also enhance our ability to connect, understand, and uplift those around us. Imagine walking through the bustling streets of ancient Rome, where the disparities between the wealthy and the poor are stark. Amidst the grandeur of marble temples and the splendor of palaces, there are also narrow alleys where the less fortunate struggle to survive. It is in these contrasting environments that the power of empathy and compassion truly shines. Empathy is the ability to place ourselves in another's shoes, to feel their joys and sorrows as if they were our own. It transcends the boundaries of our own experiences and opens our hearts to the diverse tapestry of human existence. Compassion, on the other hand, moves us to act on these feelings, to alleviate suffering and bring comfort where it is needed. Consider the story of Aurelia, a noblewoman of great wealth and status in ancient Rome. Despite her luxurious life, she never turned a blind eye to the plight of the poor. Every day she walked through the streets of Rome, visiting the sick, the elderly, and the destitute. Her empathetic heart could feel their pain, and her compassionate spirit was driven to ease it. One winter, a particularly harsh storm left many without shelter. Aurelia opened her home to those in need, providing warmth, food, and care. Her actions were not driven by a desire for recognition, but by a genuine understanding of their suffering. Through her empathy, she saw their needs, and through her compassion, she acted to meet them. Her intelligence was not just in her knowledge or status, but in her profound ability to connect with others on a human level. Empathy and compassion also enhance our capacity for effective leadership. A leader who understands the struggles of their people and acts to support them fosters loyalty, trust, and a harmonious community. This form of intelligence builds bridges and unites rather than divides. Cleanthes' wisdom reminds us that leading our heart and mind to what is best often means looking beyond ourselves. It means understanding that our actions ripple out into the world, affecting countless lives. Empathy allows us to see the impact of our actions, while compassion drives us to ensure those impacts are positive. In our daily lives, we encounter countless opportunities to practice empathy and compassion. From listening to a friend in distress to helping a stranger in need, these small acts reflect a deep-seated intelligence that values human connection above all. They remind us that we are all part of a larger whole, interconnected in ways that are both visible and invisible. Empathy and compassion also foster personal growth. By opening our hearts to others, we expand our own emotional horizons. We learn patience, understanding, and the true value of kindness. These virtues transform us, making us not only smarter, but also better human beings. Lead your heart and mind to what is best, Cleanthes advises. This call to empathy and compassion is a call to true intelligence. It is a reminder that the most profound wisdom comes from our ability to connect with and care for others. As we navigate the complexities of life, let us remember that intelligence is not just about what we know, but how we use that knowledge to better the world around us. Embrace empathy and compassion in every aspect of your life. Feel the joys and sorrows of others as your own, and let your actions reflect a deep-seated commitment to their well-being. In doing so, you will embody the true essence of intelligence, leading a life that is both wise and profoundly enriching for all.
Sign number 7. Patience and perseverance. The village of Novi Živit was a small, close-knit community where everyone knew each other. The land was their lifeblood, providing sustenance and a modest income. Ivan, a farmer by birth and by choice, had inherited his family's land. For years, he had cultivated it with care, producing enough to support his wife, Maria, and their 2 children. One year, the village was struck by a severe drought. The skies, once generous with rain, had turned stingy, and the fields began to wither under the relentless sun. The streams dried up, and the wells, once overflowing, now yielded only a trickle. The villagers watched in helpless despair as their crops failed, one by one. Ivan's fields were no exception. Day after day, he watched as the soil cracked and the plants wilted. Many of his neighbors, facing the same dire situation, began to lose hope. Some sold their land for whatever they could get, while others left the village in search of better prospects. But Ivan, though deeply worried, refused to give up. He remembered the words of his grandfather, a man of few words, but great wisdom. The land rewards those who do not abandon it. Ivan knew that patience and perseverance were his only allies in this fight against nature. Every morning, before the sun could scorch the earth, he rose early to tend to his fields. He carefully rationed the little water they had, ensuring each drop was used efficiently. Weeks turned into months, and the drought showed no signs of relenting. Ivan's hands became rough and calloused from the constant toil. Maria, seeing the strain on her husband, tried to convince him to rest, but Ivan's resolve was unshakable. "The land has given us so much," he said. "We cannot abandon it now." One day, as Ivan was working in the fields, he noticed something unusual. In a particularly dry corner of his land, a single green shoot was pushing its way through the parched soil. It was a small, fragile sign of life amidst the devastation. Ivan knelt down, his heart pounding with a mix of hope and disbelief. He gently cleared the surrounding soil and gave the plant a precious sip of water. As the days passed, more shoots began to appear. Ivan's meticulous care and unwavering patience were starting to pay off. He shared the news with Maria, and together they nurtured the fledgling plants. Word spread through the village, and soon, the neighbors who had not yet given up began to visit Ivan's fields, seeking advice and inspiration. The big, unexpected turnaround came when, one evening, dark clouds gathered on the horizon. The air grew heavy with anticipation, and a distant rumble of thunder broke the oppressive silence. The villagers gathered outside, eyes fixed on the sky. Ivan stood among them, his heart daring to hope. As the first drops of rain fell, a collective sigh of relief swept through the village. The rain, long awaited and desperately needed, poured down in torrents, soaking the fields and filling the wells. Ivan stood in his field, letting the rain wash over him, tears of gratitude mingling with the raindrops on his face. The drought had finally broken, and the fields, once lifeless, began to thrive again. Ivan's perseverance had not only saved his own crops, but had also reignited hope in the hearts of his fellow villagers. The land, true to his grandfather's words, had rewarded those who did not abandon it. Patience and perseverance are not just virtues, they are the bedrock of resilience. In the face of adversity, it is easy to give up, to abandon hope. But true intelligence lies in enduring, in believing that our efforts will bear fruit, even when the outcome seems uncertain. Dear watchers, Ivan's story reminds us that patience and perseverance are powerful forces. They enable us to endure the hardships of life, to keep pushing forward even when the odds are against us. Embrace these virtues, and you will find that true intelligence and strength come not from avoiding difficulties, but from facing them head-on and never giving up.
Sign number 8, humility. Receive without pride. Let go without attachment. Marcus Aurelius wisely advised. This profound insight from one of the greatest Stoic philosophers invites us to explore the virtue of humility, a genuine sign of intelligence that we cannot fake. Imagine a great Roman general, celebrated for his victories on the battlefield, who remains grounded despite his triumphs. In a society that often equates success with superiority, humility stands as a beacon of true wisdom. It is the recognition that our achievements, no matter how significant, do not define our worth and should never inflate our ego. Humility is the intelligent acknowledgement of our place in the grand scheme of things. It is understanding that we are part of a larger whole and that our knowledge and abilities, while valuable, are limited. This awareness fosters a mindset of continuous learning and growth. When we embrace humility, we open ourselves to new ideas, perspectives, and experiences, enhancing our understanding of the world and our place within it. Consider the story of Aemilius, a renowned philosopher in ancient Rome. Aemilius was admired for his profound knowledge and eloquent teachings. Despite his acclaim, he never saw himself as above others. Instead, he viewed himself as a perpetual student of life. He often spent time in the marketplaces, engaging in conversations with people from all walks of life, eager to learn from their experiences and insights. One day, a young student approached Aemilius with a question about a complex philosophical concept. Instead of delivering a grand lecture, Aemilius humbly admitted that he did not have all the answers. He suggested they explore the topic together, seeking wisdom from various sources. This act of humility not only endeared him to the student, but also demonstrated that true intelligence is not about knowing everything, but about being open to learning from anyone. Humility also teaches us the importance of receiving feedback and criticism gracefully. When we are humble, we do not see criticism as an attack on our character, but as an opportunity for growth. This mindset allows us to improve continuously, refining our skills and deepening our understanding. It is in this space of humble self-reflection that true wisdom flourishes. Marcus Aurelius himself embodied humility throughout his life. Despite being the most powerful man in the world, he never allowed his status to cloud his judgment or inflate his ego. He understood that his role as emperor was to serve the people and the greater good. His humility enabled him to rule with fairness and compassion, always mindful of the transient nature of power and the importance of integrity. In our own lives, humility is a guiding light that keeps us grounded and focused on what truly matters. It reminds us that we are not the center of the universe, but part of a vast, interconnected web of existence. This perspective fosters empathy, compassion, and a genuine desire to contribute positively to the world. Embracing humility also means recognizing and appreciating the contributions of others. It is about giving credit where it is due, and understanding that our successes are often the result of collective effort. This acknowledgement builds strong, respectful relationships and creates a sense of community and shared purpose. Receive without pride, let go without attachment. Marcus Aurelius's words encourage us to live with humility, embracing both our strengths and limitations. When we approach life with a humble heart and an open mind, we cultivate a deep-seated intelligence that transcends mere knowledge. This intelligence, rooted in humility, guides us to live with integrity, wisdom, and compassion. Let us remember that humility is not a sign of weakness, but a profound strength. It allows us to remain teachable, to grow continuously, and to connect deeply with others. In a world that often values arrogance and self-promotion, humility stands as a testament to true intelligence and enduring wisdom. Embrace humility, and you will discover a path to a more meaningful and enlightened life. Sign number 9, effective communication. Effective communication begins with the ability to listen. Imagine a leader in ancient Rome addressing his soldiers before a critical battle. His words must instill courage and unity, But before he speaks, he listens to their fears and concerns. This act of listening allows him to address their needs directly, making his message more impactful. Similarly, in our daily interactions, genuine intelligence is reflected in our ability to listen with empathy and respond thoughtfully. Consider the story of Marcus, a young senator in Rome known for his ability to sway even the most stubborn minds. Marcus was not the loudest or the most forceful speaker, but his words carried weight because he spoke with intention and clarity. He would spend hours studying his subjects, understanding the nuances and perspectives of all involved parties. When Marcus spoke, he chose his words carefully, ensuring they were meaningful and precise. His speeches were not filled with grandiose rhetoric but with thoughtful arguments and genuine concern for the well-being of the people. One day, Marcus faced a formidable challenge. A heated debate over land reforms threatened to divide the Senate and the citizens. Tempers flared and chaos loomed. Marcus, understanding the gravity of the situation, called for a moment of silence. He then spoke calmly and clearly, addressing the fears and hopes of both sides. He used anecdotes and historical references that everyone could relate to, weaving a narrative that highlighted common ground rather than division. His effective communication turned the tide, leading to a compromise that satisfied all parties involved. Effective communication also involves nonverbal cues. Think of a teacher in ancient Greece, standing before a group of students. Her posture, gestures, and eye contact convey confidence and authority, reinforcing her words. In our interactions, the way we carry ourselves, our body language, and our tone of voice can significantly impact how our message is received. Clenthe's wisdom reminds us that sometimes silence speaks louder than words. Effective communicators know when to speak and when to listen. They understand that pausing to reflect before responding can lead to more meaningful and impactful conversations. This principle is particularly important in conflict resolution. When emotions run high, a well-timed pause can diffuse tension and provide space for more rational and constructive dialogue. In our modern world, where communication channels are more diverse than ever, the ability to convey ideas effectively is crucial. Whether through writing, speaking, or digital media, clarity and sincerity are paramount. The best communicators are those who can adapt their message to their audience, ensuring it is accessible and engaging. Silence is better than unmeaning words. Clenthe's quote encourages us to speak with purpose and intent. Effective communication is a reflection of true intelligence, as it requires understanding, empathy, and clarity. It is the bridge that connects ideas, resolves conflicts, and fosters collaboration. Embrace the art of effective communication in your life. Listen actively, speak thoughtfully, and always aim to understand before seeking to be understood. In doing so, you will not only convey your ideas more effectively, but also build stronger, more meaningful relationships. Remember, true intelligence is not just in what you say, but in how you say it.
Sign number 10, problem-solving skills. The year was 165 AD, and Rome was facing one of its most severe grain shortages. A combination of poor harvests, flooding, and political turmoil had disrupted the supply chains, leading to a scarcity that threatened to plunge the city into famine. Panic spread through the streets as people lined up for hours, only to find empty granaries and skyrocketing prices. Lucius, a well-known grain merchant, had seen the writing on the wall. While many merchants were hoarding their supplies or selling at exorbitant prices, Lucius knew this would only worsen the crisis. He believed that solving the problem required more than just finding more grain. It needed a strategic approach that addressed the root causes and provided a sustainable solution. Lucius began by gathering information. He spoke to farmers, traders, and ship captains to understand the full extent of the disruption. He learned that not only were local supplies dwindling, but the main ports were also blocked due to political conflicts, preventing imported grain from reaching the city. The river routes were clogged with silt from the recent floods, making transportation nearly impossible. Faced with these overwhelming challenges, Lucius didn't despair. He meticulously crafted a multifaceted plan that involved several bold and innovative steps. First, He proposed building temporary granaries in strategic locations around the city. These would be used to store any available grain and prevent spoilage. Then, he devised a fleet of small, agile ships capable of navigating the clogged river routes, ensuring that whatever grain could be transported would reach Rome efficiently. Lucius also reached out to neighboring towns and villages, offering fair compensation for their surplus grain. He arranged deals with local farmers to ensure they were adequately paid, which motivated them to part with their stocks. He enlisted the help of skilled laborers to clear the silt from the river, ensuring smoother transport of goods. Despite his best efforts, Lucius faced skepticism and resistance from other merchants and some members of the Senate. They doubted his plans and accused him of overstepping his bounds. However, Lucius remained steadfast, confident that his problem-solving skills and strategic thinking would prevail. The big, unexpected turnaround came when Lucius discovered a hidden stash of grain in the countryside, hoarded by a corrupt official seeking to profit from the crisis. This revelation threatened to derail his plans, as the official had considerable influence and could have easily quashed Lucius's efforts. Rather than confront the official directly, Lucius used his intelligence and problem-solving skills to turn the situation to his advantage. He quietly gathered evidence of the hoard and presented it to a trusted ally in the Senate, who was known for his integrity and commitment to the people. Together, they exposed the corruption, and the official was swiftly removed from power. With the grain now available, Lucius swiftly integrated it into his distribution plan. The temporary granaries filled up, the small ships began their journeys, and the farmers delivered their stocks. The people of Rome, once teetering on the brink of starvation, saw the market stalls replenished with affordable grain. The mood in the city shifted from despair to relief and gratitude. In the face of overwhelming adversity, it is not despair but ingenuity and resilience that pave the way forward. Problem-solving is not just about finding quick fixes, but about understanding the deeper issues and addressing them with intelligence and integrity. When we face challenges, let us remember that what stands in the way becomes the way. Embrace the obstacles as opportunities for growth and innovation, and you will find that your problem-solving skills can transform crises into triumphs. Sign number 11, curating one's environment. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking, said Marcus Aurelius. This timeless wisdom reminds us that the key to a fulfilling and intelligent life lies in curating one's environment. The spaces we inhabit, the people we surround ourselves with, and the influences we allow into our lives shape our thoughts, behaviors, and ultimately, our destiny. Imagine a garden. Just as a gardener carefully selects the best seeds, nurtures the soil, and removes weeds to ensure a bountiful harvest, we too must be discerning about the elements we allow into our personal environments. Curating one's environment is a powerful sign of genuine intelligence, as it requires awareness, intentionality, and discipline. Consider the story of Octavia, a young philosopher in ancient Rome. Octavia understood that her growth and wisdom were deeply influenced by her surroundings. She made a conscious decision to surround herself with mentors who inspired her, peers who challenged her intellectually, and books that expanded her mind. She frequented the libraries and forums, places where ideas were exchanged freely, and where she could learn from the greatest minds of her time. One day, Octavia was invited to join a prominent social circle known for its luxurious parties and influential members. The allure of wealth and prestige was strong, but Octavia paused to reflect. She remembered the teachings of Marcus Aurelius and asked herself whether this environment would truly contribute to her growth and happiness. After careful consideration, she chose to decline the invitation. Instead, she continued to curate her environment with purpose, focusing on spaces and relationships that aligned with her values and aspirations. Octavia's decision bore fruit over the years. Her focused environment nurtured her intellect and character, leading her to become a respected philosopher whose counsel was sought by many. Her story illustrates that curating one's environment is not about isolation or avoidance, but about making choices that foster personal growth and well-being. The importance of curating one's environment extends beyond physical spaces. It includes the media we consume, the habits we cultivate, and the thoughts we entertain. In a world filled with distractions and negative influences, intelligent individuals recognize the need to filter out the noise and focus on what truly matters. By surrounding ourselves with positivity, knowledge, and constructive influences, we create a fertile ground for our minds to thrive. Marcus Aurelius himself practiced this principle. Despite being an emperor surrounded by luxury and temptation, he remained dedicated to simplicity and wisdom. He curated his environment by keeping close to advisors who embodied virtue and by engaging in daily reflections through his writings. This intentional curation of his surroundings helped him maintain clarity and purpose amidst the chaos of ruling an empire. Curating one's environment also involves setting boundaries and saying no to elements that drain our energy or distract us from our goals. It requires the courage to distance ourselves from toxic relationships, unproductive habits, and superficial pursuits. By doing so, we protect our mental and emotional well-being, allowing space for what truly enriches our lives. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. These words from Marcus Aurelius remind us that the power to shape our lives lies in our hands. By curating our environment with care and intention, we create a supportive foundation for our growth and happiness. Embrace the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and take charge of your surroundings. Choose to surround yourself with influences that inspire, challenge, and uplift you. Let go of what no longer serves you and make space for what nurtures your soul. In doing so, you will cultivate a life of genuine intelligence, fulfillment, and lasting joy. Remember, the environment you create is a reflection of the life you wish to lead. Curate it wisely.
Sign number 12. Gratitude and appreciation. Consider the story of Cassia, a philosopher in ancient Rome who lived a simple life. Despite her modest means, she was known throughout the city for her unyielding sense of gratitude and appreciation. Every day, Cassia would walk through the bustling streets, taking in the sights, sounds, and smells of the city with a heart full of wonder. She found joy in the simplest things: a child's laughter, the aroma of freshly baked bread, the warmth of the sun on her face. One day, Cassia's friend Marcellus, who was wealthy but perpetually dissatisfied, asked her how she maintained such happiness despite having so little. Cassia smiled and said, "I have everything I need, Marcellus. I have my health, my mind, and the beauty of the world around me. I do not yearn for more because I cherish what I have." Her words struck a chord with Marcellus, who began to see that his endless pursuit of material wealth was blinding him to the abundance already present in his life. Gratitude and appreciation are not just about recognizing what we have, but also about understanding the impermanence of all things. The Stoics believed that everything is temporary, and this awareness deepens our appreciation for the present moment. When we embrace the fleeting nature of life, we learn to savor each experience, each relationship, each breath. This perspective is a hallmark of true intelligence, as it reflects a deep understanding of the human condition. Epictetus himself practiced and taught this principle. Despite being born a slave and facing numerous hardships, he found freedom in his mind through the practice of gratitude. He understood that external circumstances do not dictate our inner peace. Instead, it is our attitude towards those circumstances that defines our experience. By appreciating what we have and not dwelling on what we lack, we cultivate resilience and joy. In our fast-paced modern world, where dissatisfaction and comparison often prevail, the practice of gratitude and appreciation is more crucial than ever. It grounds us, reminding us of the abundance in our lives. It shifts our focus from what is missing to what is present, fostering a sense of fulfillment and happiness. This shift in perspective is a clear sign of genuine intelligence, as it demonstrates an ability to navigate life with wisdom and grace. Gratitude also enhances our relationships. When we express appreciation for the people in our lives, we strengthen our bonds and create a positive ripple effect. It encourages a culture of kindness and recognition where everyone feels valued and seen. This simple yet powerful practice can transform our interactions and build a more compassionate and connected community. In the words of Seneca, it is the power of the mind to be unconquerable. True intelligence is not in what you know, but in how you think, how you adapt, and how you connect with the world around you. If you seek the path of wisdom, join us in exploring these genuine signs of intelligence you cannot fake. Remember, the journey is just as important as the destination. Subscribe to our channel and like the video if you support the content that I create. See you on the next video. Seeker of Wisdom.